Okay, I feel like this is something I need to talk about. Did Sonic actually have a rough transition into 3D? I know this is kind of a popular debate and has even become a meme, but if you really think about it, did he really have a rough transition into 3D? I get that Sonic started out as a classic 2D platformer, and not gonna lie, those games were really fun and challenging, and every installment from 1 to 2 to 3 just got better and better. And even with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, for example, I would say there's probably the pinnacle of the classic games. Well, Mania was probably more so the pinnacle, but you get my point. Now, what do we consider the transition to 3D? Do we consider it the transition from Sonic 3 to Sonic Adventure, or do we include the Saturn games in there like Sonic R, Sonic 3D Blast, and the open Sonic World and Sonic Jam? And there's also the canceled Sega Saturn game Sonic Extreme, which I know that the development on that was kind of horrendous, but those are all in 3D and they were before Sonic Adventure. I mean, would I say that those were rough? Well, some could argue that Sega couldn't make up their mind, but put this all into perspective, what do we consider the transition into 3D for Sonic? Technically speaking, it was from the Genesis to the Saturn era. And I understand that between a racing title and an isometric platforming title and an open world, people could say, was that the rough transition that Sega just couldn't make up their mind on what Sonic was doing? But Saturn games aside, let's just go straight to Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. I get that the game is a bit buggy and glitchy here and there, but it was overall really fun to play, and I can go back and play those levels again and again as all the characters. Mostly I like to go back and play Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles' levels again and again. They're just that much fun to play. Sure, Sonic has some parts in his levels where you can kind of clip through planes and all that sorts of stuff, but did it really stop me from liking the game? Not really, no. And I feel like those are just like some small complaints that some people bring up as far as Sonic having this rough transition to 3D, whether they really mean it or not. Now, when I look at Sonic Adventure as a whole, I literally do see it as taking the 2D platformers 1, 2, 3 Knuckles and putting it into 3D space. It had that linear style gameplay with a little bit of openness to it, making it a lot more exciting to play compared to the linear levels of the 2D games. You had all the different springs, all the different platforms, and you had more expressive scenery. And along with that, you could collect animals for your Chow, which were added into Sonic Adventure as well, and you had an entire Chow garden, which was obviously more refined in Sonic Adventure 2. So, again, this just goes to ask, was Sonic's transition to 3D really awful? My honest thoughts, I don't think so. I honestly loved Sonic's transition into 3D. Now, where people came up with that whole Sonic had a rough transition to 3D, I don't know. I think it's just they come up with these little complaints and try to prove an opinion, try to get some attention. And this is just kind of my speculation. I don't really know. I haven't really researched the whole thing. And the whole term has just become a meme at this point. But I want to ask y'all, did Sonic have a rough transition to 3D? And if so, why did you think so? Comment below to let me know. And check out these other Sonic videos on the screen too. Alright, thanks so much for watching everyone, and as always, we are Eternal for Life.